Hey guys, so today I just wanted to chat a little bit about best study tips and tips that I use before finals week and finishing final exams and papers and stuff like that, because I know it's a huge stress and it's a big burden on all of us to have finals after we've had like a long stressful semester of classes. So I thought it would be cool to make a video about my best study tips and what I've used in the past and what I still use today. A little bit of background about me. I'm currently a graduate student. I'm in nutrition and dietetics, and I have a background, a bachelor's degree in nutrition and dietetics also. I know what it feels like to be an undergrad, and still in grad school I'm having to deal with these tests and exams and stuff like that, so I know exactly how you feel, and it sucks. It totally sucks. So I'm here to help and hopefully give you a little insight on how I study best and like what helps me remember things the best. So without further ado, let's get started. So my first study tip is to use study apps. So my favorite study app personally is STUDYBLUE. For those of you who haven't used it before, it's basically just like a flashcard app and it seems pretty simple and straight to the point, but honestly for tests that require a lot of memorization, flashcards are really proven to be really helpful for students to remember things. So reading and stuff like that, you don't really hold on to a whole lot of what you read. So rereading your notes doesn't always help you remember very well. So flashcards are really shown to help boost your memory and help you hold on to concepts and memorize them kind of. I know I hate having to like memorize things, but unfortunately that's how school sometimes works. You just have to memorize and get through it for the test. So use STUDYBLUE. And I'll put a link in the notes section for you on that app and how to get it, but you can use it on your phone, your iPad, your laptop, and you can do this like anywhere you want. So my best advice is to not clump up your study time into like one big chunk, even though sometimes it's tempting and sometimes we do that. If you can, just study throughout the week, and if you have a spare like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, even a couple minutes just waiting in line for something, pull out your phone and whip out the STUDYBLUE app and it'll be right there for you, and you can study just like 5 cards, you can study all the cards, whatever you have time for. I would definitely recommend doing whatever you can in those small bits of time, so you're not wasting a lot of time and you're also getting the most bang for your buck as far as like study time goes, and you don't have to do it all at once. So STUDYBLUE, definitely the best app that I've had for studying and stuff like that. You can really use it anywhere and it's awesome, and it's totally free too, so that's another plus. So tip number 2 is sleep. I know, I hate this tip, and honestly I'm sometimes just the worst at following this tip, but sleep is so crucial. Sleep is so important for you to remember things and for your brain to like process things and hold on to things. You're actually really processing a lot of that information, and like your brain is going to be able to remember it better when you sleep on it. So I've heard before from like my past teachers and professors that if you study right before you go to bed, like if there's a certain material that you really don't understand, do it before you go to bed, because then your brain has time to process it even if you don't understand it right in that moment, and then you can actually like think about it, mull it over, and then in the morning you might understand that concept better. It's just a little tip that I've learned, and I found that it really helps. So I would try to study a little bit right before bed, not always like all of your studying right before bed, but if there's a concept that you don't understand and you want to think it over overnight, then do it right before you go to bed, and then put that book away, sleep, get a full 8 hours, and then the next morning you will be good to go. Another thing about sleep, just to emphasize the importance of it, is just that your brain needs rest. The less sleep you have, the more stress you're going to have, and the more stress you have, the worse you're going to do on a test. So with that logic, sleep. So my next tip is, of course, a nutrition related tip, is having a snack right before your test. So I would have like a mix of carbohydrates and proteins. Like you can have an apple, string cheese, and some almonds, Greek yogurt with a little granola, of avocado toast with a little bit of pumpkin seeds or chia seeds on it. Anything like this would be a really good snack to have because you need some carbohydrates for your brain to fully function. Your brain needs that glucose to go straight to it so it can function well. And then you need some proteins and fiber and just nutrients to have your brain working at its best. When you have this combination, you're gonna stay full throughout your test, and so your stomach's not gonna be grumbling, gonna be like, oh my gosh, I wish I had something to eat beforehand. And it may seem like a really little and minuscule thing, but honestly, you don't want to be hungry during your test because you're just not gonna function at your best. So have a snack of carbohydrates and proteins, probably about 150 to 200 calories beforehand, and don't go too overboard, because if you go too overboard, of a phenomenon that happens that all your blood is going to rush to your stomach and your brain is not going to be functioning at its best. So having too much is just as bad as having nothing or not enough. Save your pizza and your wine for after you're done with your tests because this can kind of drag you down and bog you down, and you don't want that before a test. So my fourth tip is to stay away from your classmates or people that are taking the same test as you about 30 minutes before your test. And this may seem like antisocial or like you're being mean to them or something, but really this has helped me so much because I just get really anxious and really nervous when I'm around my classmates and it's before a test and we're talking and they're like, oh, did you study this? Like, do you know what blah, blah, blah is? And then I'm like, oh my God, I did not study that.
Like, I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna die, I don't know what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna fail school and I'm never gonna come back and I'm never gonna be a dietitian.
And then I have to like bring myself back to earth, and by the time I'm like done freaking out, the test is there, and then I'm anxious as all hell when I am taking the test. So that's why I say avoid your classmates beforehand, and you can just do this by coming to class right before the test. You may be in like the library beforehand or just taking a walk outside or studying your notes outside. And this will be better than just getting yourself all worked up and hearing what other people studied or what other people didn't understand and then freaking yourself out. My fifth and final tip is to plan a reward for after. So tests are not fun and no one really looks forward to them besides maybe like looking forward to the fact that you're going to be done soon. But for this, I would suggest to plan a reward afterwards, and it can be as little as planning a workout or yoga or something fun like that, like a walk with your boyfriend or girlfriend. It can be a little bit bigger, like you can get yourself a Starbucks latte afterward, get a glass of wine or a bottle of wine, whatever you prefer. Maybe buy yourself something if you haven't, if you have the funds to buy yourself something, then you can do that. So, and I wouldn't suggest this maybe after every single test, but this can be something like a special occasion. Maybe after all of your finals, you buy yourself a workout outfit, or you buy yourself like a new wall decor for your apartment or room or anything like that. Rewarding yourself helps because then your brain is like associating the test being done with something happy, and so you can focus, manifest a little bit of happiness through thinking positively and thinking this is going to be over soon and I'm going to have X reward afterwards, so it's actually a good thing. So I hope that you enjoyed my 5 tips and I hope that you can use them. Please let me know in the comments below what your tips are. I am totally open to learning your tips because I am still in that process of learning, and I always love to hear what other people do to strategize and to plan for tests and stuff like that. So like this video if you loved these tips, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like these. Thank you so much and have an awesome day. Good luck on your tests and your exams. Thanks.